Well, dear friends, the first time I was in Brazil in 1992, I visited Sao Paulo, Rio, Manaus, Porto Alegre, and Brasilia. In Brasilia, I met one Green deputy. Now they are 17. They have added one deputy every year since I was here last time. Let's go on with that speed. Before coming here, I knew that there is a common green thinking. I made this study that Isabel also made promotion for in this little book that some of you have already acquired, so I knew there was a common green thinking. Here in Sao Paulo, I have felt that there is a very strong wish for common green action. At the same time, I have been informed by the organizers of this very well-organized Congress that they had a lot of trouble to organize it because of lack of very basic logistic resources. So I think that we must take the Australian proposal very seriously. Of course, you could say that Greens should think globally but act locally. That's true. But all these local activities, they must be coordinated in order to have a global impact. And that's why I think that we must have these logistic resources. Our future is decided very much on the global level, if we like it or not. We all know it. G8, World Bank, WTO, and whatever. So we must have a green counterpower that is absolutely needed. The world regions are, of course, still important. European Union, African Union, ASEAN, OAS, and whatever they are called. And we have our green federations. I think they are very important. They shall continue to be very important. That is quite clear, no doubt about it. But no one is perfect in the world. And I have one example, and that is, and I'm one of the guilty ones, about the European Greens and Georgia, the Republic of Georgia. There was a revolution in Georgia, or a so-called revolution in 2003. All Greens, including myself personally, and I know Georgia pretty well, I believed I did, we were enthusiastic about the Rose Revolution. There was only one party who was hesitant. That was the Green Party of Georgia. But we didn't listen. The years have gone, reports have come from Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, etc., about a lot of abuses. I don't say the Rose Revolution was completely wrong. It's much more complicated. But I can draw the conclusion that we should have listened more to the Georgian Greens, personally, not as a representative of the European Greens, but personally, I find myself forced to apologize to the General Secretary of the Georgian Greens about half a year ago that we didn't listen to them enough. That's just a warning that the federations are not perfect and that single green parties may be able and may have the need of using also sometimes another international level. And let me remind my European colleagues that in Europe we have the strongest green parties. That's undeniable. We have the longest experience. We have the highest number of MPs altogether. We have most money, and so on. Of course, there should be no green European neocolonialism in the green movement. Of course not. But that's not what I have heard during these days here in Sao Paulo. On the contrary, from Chinese, from Indonesian, from Africans, from Kyrgyzstans, from wherever, people have approached me and told me that they have apprehensions, not that the European Greens should behave in a neocolonialist way, but the European Greens should not take upon themselves enough responsibility for the development of the global Greens. So I think that it's clear that there is a wish that we should take upon that responsibility more. And I recommend my European colleagues to do that. I mean, to remind ourselves, on the European level, we always said, and we, the Swedes, who used to be a little hesitant about the European level, we always heard, and you told us, and you were mostly right, what use with green Sweden if the rest of Europe is grey from pollution and poverty and misery? That's correct. That's right. So now we could say, what's use with the green Europe if the rest of the world is grey from pollution and poverty and misery? So, dear friends, let us at this Congress, and I've heard that it is going on in that direction, take concrete steps to empower the global Greens, to think globally, to act locally, but also to coordinate the global thinking and the local activity in order to achieve global green impact. Thank you.